I peaked Diamond 1, I want to say
Excellent.
season 15.
Nice.
Um, I wasn't able to get myself into that Masters tier.
Okay.
I do well when I do get those games where I match up with, uh, Masters 3 and stuff like that.
Yeah.
But it's I'm not able to perform well enough to get me past
Right.
that hurdle. So back in February when you coached me, I put the things that you or I want to say the most of the things you told me in the practice. Opened up with Helix. I stopped worrying about the optimal position all the time.
Right.
I focused on making the best use out of each angle that I choose.
Right.
Um, I also took more action, but I did start getting confused as I kind of continued to watch Awkward a little bit more, and the simplification of what he teaches kind of got me a little bit more confused. I found myself I have like notes. These are some of the notes that I kept writing
Sure.
down as I continued to experiment. I repositioned so often. I would get sandwiched in between people that came out from spawn. I would reposition into angles that had multiple enemies, and I would try to turn that into like distraction plays where I would take a 2v1 trade if I find
Sure.
um, but usually my hero kite isn't equipped to kite well.
Mm-hmm.
So I I kind of get chased down, and if I don't get chased down, I just get zoned out and lose downtime or lose uptime.
Sure. Sure.
Um, so what I started doing is I would sort of give Genji angles, or give like anybody that's contesting me that's catching me off guard. I would give them the angle, go back to main, and start shooting tank because what I found was it wasn't that I turned my brain off, like you said before. It was the fact that my hero actually has much more spam value compared to flankers like Genji and
Mm-hmm.
Sombra. So I would just apply as much pressure and crits to the tank, and I found that in that the race to value is something that I won compared to that matchup. And also when I'm on main, in order for Genji to actually do anything about me or any of my teammates, he has to come out of cover, uh, and expose himself a little bit to actually get value. So that's what I found um, in dealing with that problem. I
Sure.
stopped. I know you told me like, oh, it's good that they're contesting you on these angles, that they're being forced to use a cooldown. However, if they're catching me off guard, I found it's way better just to kite out uh, before I actually die.
Mm-hmm.
Um, get a health pack, go to main, heal myself up, and then just continue my uptime and just give them the angle rather than actually like saying,
Mm-hmm.
"Oh, it's good that they killed me there."
Right. Well, I mean, obviously, right? Dying means you made a mistake most of the time, right? So taking the angle, if you get surprised, you shouldn't go, "Oh, it's good that I've been surprised because I'm going to rotate away and poke on main." No, you shouldn't have gotten surprised, right? Like when your number one priority when you get contested on an angle is the person that's contesting the angle, and usually the situation with Soldier, why you have sprint is because you're so incredibly easy to clear out of an angle, is that you're supposed to rotate to a different angle. Now, if that means going a little bit closer to your team in some situations and pressuring tank, that's fine. But I would only do that if that's the most convenient and optimal angle that's available to you right there, if there isn't anything else to do. Now, we'll look at it in the VOD review and see how you're actually applying it. But the rule is you always control angles with Soldier, without exception. And if you're ever standing in the middle of your team, like literally in the center of 5 people, right, then you are making a mistake 100% of the time. Because by giving them all the space there, you have basically guaranteed that you have nowhere left to run to, right? The point being is that you run to an angle, you shoot, you get pressured out because you're easy to pressure out, you run to a different angle, and then you shoot, and then you pressure, and you run to a different angle. And that's basically how Soldier operates here. And if you find yourself dying on these angles, then you're taking the wrong angle or you're behaving poorly on the angle. You get what I'm saying? So now to do that correctly takes a lot of practice. To do that takes a lot of intentional practice, and you can't be surprised, and you have to hit your shots and so on. And so we'll have to look at it, but that's the principle that it demands here. Now, the key thing here is if you are letting Genji get close to you, then yes, that is not the angle that you should be choosing. There's going to be a lot of angles with Soldier that don't feel good, that don't feel correct because you're simply way too close. Soldier is certainly in the top third of ranged characters. He's up there. I mean, he's not an Ashe, Widowmaker, Hanzo, but he's not a Reaper. He's not a Torb. And even versus characters like Cassidy, I find that you want to maintain range with Cat versus a Cassidy, more so than you think. And that applies to a lot of other characters. So be cautious, be careful, maintain your distance, and play your angles properly. Does that make sense?
Yeah, and that's what I was getting misinterpreted because you told me that, it's good that they're contesting me there.
Correct. But it needs to be the right angle, right? You need to have an advantage in that duel, right?
Yeah, gotcha. So, that's where we're going to elaborate on.
Sure.
A couple more notes. I just want to get this out there. I would reposition so often. I would kind of like I stopped poking as much after the fight's done and going close and start poking because then I would give away my position. I would also give away my position when I would take a deep flank and try to poke from an angle and then move, and then it would just telegraph my flank. So I stopped doing that and made my flanks a little bit more effective. One of your videos about the kill box, that also helped a great deal because I would pay attention to my team's position. I would also that also gave me enough time to think about timing my ultimates with my teammates, which helped out a lot, and also being harder to kill, just in general, made my uptime much more longer. But it gave away a little bit my distraction value.
Sure.
Because sometimes when I would take positions that they'd be harder to kill, I wouldn't be focused in as much, and then all the attention would obviously be on whoever's on the main. So it's really a balancing act. Based on this, what type of game would you want me to give you? Because I can give you ones that where I felt awkward, couldn't really find the position, and I could give you a game where Tracer's just my whole team is getting steamrolled and I want to try to find a way to overcome that steamroll.
Yeah, either one works. Totally up to you.
Either one?
Mm-hmm.
Okay. All right. Let's symbol. This one's a little bit embarrassing because I thought I should have had all the answers, but I didn't.
Okay. Any questions about practice time or routine? Obviously, that's the most important thing that you could possibly do is practice effectively and efficiently. I know we've already talked about much of that at our last session, but has anything come up since then?
No, I pretty much practiced for several hours without fatigue.
Okay.
I get great sleep,
Okay. Do you feel like you're fully focused during all those hours? Like you know exactly what you're practicing? Full energy, full focus? Okay. Sounds good.
It's very little, if I ever do catch myself slipping, I'll just stop. I have to consider how fast my reaction time is.
Sure.
And if I ever catch myself thinking that, I should have reacted sooner, then that's the clue that maybe I'm fatiguing out.
Okay.
And then I'll just stop.
Okay. Now, keeping in mind context of our last session, a lot of your problems were kind of overthinking the situation and just not executing very well with where you were. So I'm going to kind of keep that context here because you don't change like that within months, right? You don't snap your fingers and fix it. I mean, even hearing a lot of your questions have very simple answers. And so they're good questions, but they're there's something that you should be able to kind of figure out and execute on your own, right? So what I want to see here is I want to see if it's more of the same, right? I want to ask, can you stream Overwatch through Discord? I don't know if you can do that on console.
No.
Okay, that's fine. Might be something to look forward to in the future if you have the capability to do so.
Live coaching, yeah. I could do it via my computer. I do have a PC.
Sure.
My mechanics absolutely are horrendous with the
Sure,
mouse.
sure. Then make the transition whenever you'd like to, because you can make that transition whenever you'd like. Most people that transition from console to PC always have a little bit of an awkward growing period, but you transition a lot faster than you think. You'll be fine. I've coached about 100 people from console to PC, and it's not a problem. Even with aim-dependent characters, you'll be fine. And if you want questions or if you want answers on how to do that effectively, just shoot me a message, all right?
Yeah.
Okay, let's take a look here.
You have techniques like elbow control and wrist control and things like that you can teach me.
Partly, most of it is just learning the basics of like mouse control, kind of, sort of, and then just repping it out and making sure that your sensitivity is fine, and then just playing. That's it. It's generally very simple. There's not a lot of tips or tricks that you need. Just good posture, hold your mouse, have enough space. That's basically it. You'll transition fast. Most of aiming is done with your eyes and less to do with your arm. So it's why people can change sensitivities and still be effective aimers. I've never really... In fact, people that transition from console to PC generally learn aim much faster than somebody who is not. So, okay, let's take a look here. I like this angle here. We've got a bit of distance. Heal station's fine. Obviously, in 6v6, more of your angles are going to be contested. That's just the nature of 6v6. So you're going to spend a lot more time shooting tanks and contesting angles because there's going to be more bodies on the angle. So,
yeah,
good helix. I would say here, my biggest feedback here is that this should have just been a kill. That's basically it. So like right here, this helix needed to go on the Ashe, and then the Ashe would have died. If the Ashe dies, well then Moira dies, and then you're able to hold the angle. So the mistake here is not really complicated. You had the Ashe down to 1 HP, and then you chose to swap to the Moira. And then the Moira lives, and then the Ashe lives. Finish the Ashe, then we don't have this conversation. That's it. Because the angle's good.
Yeah.
And,
I mistook the Moira for Ashe.
Yeah, it's fine. It happens. It's not a big deal. Even marking this angle is fine. So this is kind of what I'm talking about, where you run away from an angle because you don't have any resources right now. You're missing HP, you don't have your helix, and there's like 2 DPS on you. So you run away, and then you run back. You see what I'm saying? What you just did is the soldier. You have an angle, you run away because they push you, and then you don't run all the way back to your team. You just run right back on the angle when you have resources and do it again. Now, you need to open with helix here. So that was a little slow with the helix, and crucially, because you're not opening with helix, you're not aiming your helix. Because where should your crosshair be if you're aiming with helix here?
At the floor.
At the floor, or directly at the Ashe if you can't hit the floor. Like either at the D.Va's feet or whatever. So instead, we split the difference. You're in between 2 targets, and then you have to drag the crosshair over. So you don't end up getting any helix damage, which means that once again, we're leaving kills on the floor, right? Like, this is a situation where that Ashe should have died 6 years ago, and the baby D.Va should be dead as well. You see what I'm saying? So what I'm seeing here is consistently is you deepen your angle, you shallowed your angle. You deepen your angle, you shallowed your angle, depending on whether you get cooldowns or not. That's really good. The movement here is perfect. I have no feedback here. However, freaking kill somebody. Right?
Yeah.
Lock down the one target.
In that particular instance, though, the aim assist, my aim assist window size is actually at 100%.
I noticed that, yeah.
Yeah, so my it's actually a little bit difficult on a horizontal angle to bring the crosshairs down, obviously, because of the tug. But I definitely can practice that.
I noticed that you're dragging to targets that you don't necessarily want to go towards. So something to keep in mind. But yeah, the angle itself is fine. Run away. You don't have heal station. But this is where I wouldn't give up the angle entirely. I would just kind of sit here and wait for my passive heal to kick in and then run back. You'll probably be fine. Because you see what I'm saying? Like, you're having to heal station yourself anyway, but now you're doing so behind your tank. When you should be here shooting D.Va. You understand what I'm saying? On the angle. Because right now, why do you need to be on an angle? Because you can't see anything right now at all. Literally nothing.
Yeah. I chose that because I wanted to get, I wanted to make sure that there wasn't anybody behind me or around me. So I wanted to find a little bit more secure cover to, actually see if my supports will like heal me up, and then I could go back on the angle.
Understandable. Good. No feedback, obviously. Good. Good. Could hold the space easily. You don't need to do anything. Okay.
And this is where I actually do have a question, because I can't see anybody, so obviously my pressure isn't strong here.
Let me ask you a question: is your team? Can most of your team see anybody?
My diva can see a little bit, and then my Freya can see a little bit.
She could see the same amount that you can. No, you're Freya. Yeah. So no, you're fine. Now, if your entire team is pushed up, then you would be feeding. But your team is not pushed up. You have Mercy and Spawn, Moira and Cart, Orisa here, Freya and Height. Your diva's an idiot. Don't help her. Yeah. Hold your angle.
Would it be a good play to pick up Mercy from Spawn?
No, this is like... no, I don't think so, because this fight will be happening soon, correct? Like, you can feel it.
Yeah.
So you need to stay here. This is the line that you talked about, right? Where's the line? Well, it's here, and it's here, and it's here, and it's here, and here, right? So anybody that crosses that line is your responsibility, okay? So this is fine. This is fine. Like, you need to be doing damage when your team is fighting right now. Right now, your team isn't fighting. Well, right now, they're about to start fighting, right? So there was no reason for you to do anything more than this.
Yeah.
You see what I'm saying? This is fine.
Yeah, no reason to reposition. Just hold the high ground.
Correct.
Keep my angle. Burn CDs.
You could even pop Visor here just for zoning value. This is fine? Yep. Sure. This is okay. I really think this is fine. Only thing I would say here is before you pop Visor, one simple rule is just to make sure you know where somebody is. Like right now, you only really know where Ram Diva are, but you don't know where Ana is, you don't know where Mei is, and I think that might be helpful. Now, if you purposely pop Visor, like I said earlier, to zone people out so that you can isolate tanks, that's fine, but you didn't really know where people were, so just take a second before you pop Visor. Make sense?
Okay. Yeah, this is... I'm glad you said that, because I did get really confused the last session where you're like, oh, I don't care where Reaper is, you don't worry about scouting, like, you're thinking too much. But I'm like, also at this, I do need to know where people are to some extent without overthinking. So here's what you have to do. Okay, I'm gonna be completely frank with you. Okay, this is not intended to be rude. This is just frank. Okay, you have to take things within context, because I'm noticing a couple of things that I'm saying. You're trying to look for hard rules that you can just turn your brain off and follow. Right? And then you're getting frustrated and confused when you're like, well, that doesn't make a whole lot of sense. You need to listen to whether it's me or Awkward or even just your own reviews. You got to think critically, right? Now, when I would say, don't worry so much about scouting, just use the visor, why would I say something like that? Why would anybody say something like that? What does that imply about your visors? It pretty much implies... pretty much zones out everybody, forces them to take cover, it gets them a little scared.
That's not... Listen carefully. You said this is what I'm talking about. You got to listen carefully what I'm saying. What does that imply about your visors if I'm saying to stop overthinking it and just use it? What does that imply? How does that imply how you use visor incorrectly? What mistakes would that imply? It implies that I'm overthinking it. Correct, right? And what it is it's not saying that there's no thought allowed in visors ever. Don't think, turn your brain off, just visor. The implication is that you overthink it and maybe don't use it enough, correct? And that was definitely the case in our previous review. So if you say, well, am I allowed to scout before I use it? Yeah, sure, if you want, of course. But that might not be a weakness of yours. You get what I'm saying? Even in this particular instance here, I would rather you just pop visor here now than for you to overthink, because there is a fight happening and your angle is good, so you're probably going to get value out of this visor. So now that we've gotten to a point here where at least on the surface it looks like we're willing to use visor, okay, now we're allowed to add a little bit of nuance here. One thing that I think Awkward does really well with his coaching is he gives hard rules and then introduces nuance once you start getting better at following those rules. And maybe we'll do a little bit of the same here. Before, I just wanted you to use the visor and an angle and not overthink it. Now, if we're doing that and we're a little bit more, we've ranked up a little bit, now we can start to think about, okay, well, let me see if I can get a little bit of information first. Does that make sense?
Yeah.
But you have to think about what I'm saying, about why I'm saying it, You know, you can't just follow it to a T. You have to think very carefully, right? That's the challenge. That's going to be your challenge, right? Same thing with the off angles. When do you open with Helix? When do you not open with Helix? Well, usually you want to open with Helix, but why do you open with Helix? Well, it's because they don't know I'm there and it's damage up front. But are there situations in which I wouldn't open with Helix? Well, maybe, right? You should be smart enough to figure these nuances out here, right? So we have a baseline here. Your challenge is that you sometimes overcomplicate and overthink things and miss the forest for the trees, right? So I want you to think very carefully about the feedback that you're, whether it's mine, Awkward's, or anybody else's, and you're going to have to be able to think critically and apply it to yourself. Does that make sense?
Yeah.
It's going to take effort from you, right? But you can do that. You just showed me that you can do it right now. So your question, should I scout before visor here? Yeah, sure. Why not? Absolutely. If you could tell me that you're consistent with taking a good angle before visoring, then absolutely we can add another step. And honestly, this visor's mostly fine. The reason it doesn't work here is because your Freya just died, because your Nano, not even your Nano, what is going on with your Diva? Yeah, they pop Nano on Ram, they blow Blizzard. Your team has already lost this fight. This was a good fight, good visor from you. Unlucky go next. Make sense?
Yeah.
You had a good angle, you timed it well. Would have been nice to have a little bit of scouting, but to be frank, that would not have changed the result. Just a good habit to get into.
Yeah. I've noticed Diva's obviously going to, like, best play for a Diva to make while I visor is to obviously fly to me and matrix me.
Mm-hmm.
So if I'm going against a matchup, one of two things, I try to make sure she's out of mech. I make sure she used her boosters already, or she's away from me. Or at the very worst case scenario, try to use it as a distraction, try to get her to close to me.
I mean, it's fine, right? Like you're pulling a Diva, and maybe if you're comfortable with it, you can force some resources. Correct, yeah. And let's be this is the other thing too. Like Visor is a significantly worse ultimate in 6v6. Significantly worse. So much so that when we first went into 5v5 at Overwatch 2 during the beta, during Professional Overwatch League, Nano Visor was busted because nobody knew how to play versus Visor because we'd spent 5 years ignoring it. And all of a sudden, there's no Diva to contest it anymore, right? So, yeah, the Visor is going to be shut down quite easily, even not versus Diva. So you just have to take what value you can get. Now, thoughts on this angle?
Good poke, I got two people looking at me, and then I could pretty much reposition into a better angle.
Do you have enough distance here? Does this feel like a good angle for you?
This does feel like a good angle. I just need to react as soon as I see a,
That's correct.
A Diva.
You got it. You got it. Now open with Helix. You see what I'm saying?
Yeah.
And the other thing too, so let's focus on the details here too. How would you perfectly play this angle? So the angle's correct, but the position isn't correct. You see what I'm saying? So fix it for me.
I want to take that high ground so I can have a little bit more cover.
Correct. Just play here. Don't press W here, so that if you do need to disengage, you have cover, you can run away safely, and so on. But yeah, so two little details here, which are really important. Open with Helix, which is something that I know we talked about before, and I'm sure that you've improved at, but it takes conscious effort over and over and over, thousands of reps to fix it, or improve it, rather. And then crucially, you needed to get cover here. This is you pressing forward for the kill. And the distraction value is insane, right? But we needed a kill, and then we needed you alive. You understand?
Yeah.
And we should have had both of those if you played it properly.
Yeah, I should have had a kill here. Here's what I was thinking, though, because when I took this angle, when I went to the stairs, in my head, I'm thinking the enemy team's going to be pushing forward. So if they move forward, I have to move forward, right? And I didn't hit the Ana because I didn't think I was going to get the Helix. So I'm like, let me reserve this Helix for... And this is all happening really fast in my head.
Oh, of course.
Let me reserve the Helix for when she's low and I get a last hit Helix. And I also was thinking, I don't see everybody on the enemy team. So there's some people that might be... like have an angle that I don't know. Which, now that I say that out loud, I probably still should take the high ground if I'm thinking.
Even more so, right? Even more so.
Yeah.
It's the safer position. Yeah. Yeah. I mean, remember, this is definitely a habit, a pattern. It's nothing to be ashamed of. Like you're a hard thinker and you're a good strategist, and that's something to be proud of. But you have to be very careful that doesn't overcomplicate things, right? We talked about this. So, you're giving me a lot of good reasons, but I see an Ana with her back turned to me, feet flat on the floor. I'm sorry, I'm open with Helix every time, right? you're worried about all these off angles. I'm still playing cover, right? I'm still playing my distance. And if they all run away from me, well, fine, I'll tail them from behind. That's honestly a soldier's dream, is to be tailing them from behind, because you just have infinite uptime and you never get contested. Soldier has just great consistent pressure. And so, if you are able to keep pressure from behind, this is fine. So just be patient. Throw the helix. Maybe you don't get the kill, but then if you don't get the kill, well, there'll be somebody else to shoot, like the Diva or the Symmetra, or if they all run away, well, then you pursue to the next high ground, right? So this is another one of those situations where you just have to focus on what you can control, which is, I took a good angle, I need to find cover, I need to open with helix most of the time, right? In this situation, this is one of those times. Does that make sense?
Yeah. I'm
Right.
going to slow my brain down a little bit more so I can actually, actually think about who that target is, because it looks like, just a blob.
A blob,
right?
yeah.
So I don't know if it's an Ana, it could be a Freya,
Sure.
So like, I'm actually going to process, like, when I peek these angles, who is this person?
Sure.
Slow it down a little bit more.
Yeah, slow it down a little bit more and allow yourself to simplify, to narrow your approach as well. So like, if you had gone into this game here and your only intent was to take the correct angle, then I think you did a pretty good job this game. But then there's going to be other games where I'd like you to focus on that helix opener into your mechanics, or just your mechanics in general, like focusing down targets, whether it's fighting your aim assist or whatever else. And then the third thing is just making sure that you're being very, very, you're married to a corner, always married to a corner every time you take an angle, right? So those are like the three things that we've seen so far. And, you shouldn't really train all of those at the same time. We spoke about this. You should allow yourself to slow things down and focus on the one thing, right? Because if you try to think about all of those things, then you would just probably do a really bad job at all of them. But now, to be fair, you took a great angle. And so despite behaving on that angle very poorly, you win the fight, because you had immense distraction value. So well done.
Yeah. Do you think I should have anticipated the Mei coming back from spawn? Because that sometimes happens.
No. I mean, yes, but that's like we're talking about a higher level thing to worry about, which is like respawns. And if you just simply had held the corner, then the Mei would not have been a problem, because you would have said, "Oh, Mei, run away." Would have been fine.
Gotcha.
Yeah. When you make good decisions, whether it's opening with helix, playing corners, taking the right angles, you create opportunity to outplay things that surprise you. Like, what happens if the Diva just throws bomb at you, or Ramattra throws vortex at you, or the Ana even sleeps you or nades you, right? Well, you have time to react to those things. Oh, I should have tracked sleep or nade. If you're here, you don't have to worry about sleep or nade, right? You create ability to outplay all those tiny little details that can overwhelm you. You don't need to worry about those details. This is fine. I don't think you need to go here. I think you already have an angle here. Like, look at where your team is and look at where you are. We've got some pressure here. We've got some pressure here. This is an angle. You understand what I'm saying? It doesn't always have to be all the way hard flanking if your sightline is really good. Does that make sense?
Yeah.
So I think this is one of those moments where you don't need to rotate here. Maybe you're rotating away from Ramattra, but just wait. Wait for him to push you out. He can't run you down. I'm
rotating away from Diva, actually, keeping my distance from her. I know that she peeked the...
So this is the Genji problem. Let me explain. If you're worried about Diva right now, where should your attention be right now?
It should be on Diva.
Correct. Because you can heal station and shoot Diva, and then will you have time to respond and rotate away from this flight?
I do. As soon as I see her boosters, I'd have to rotate.
You will. Yeah, it's the same thing with the Genji, right? Look at the person on the angle. Remember you said, oh, well, you said to look at the angle and I'm dying to Genjis. Well, you have to have a proper amount of distance. You have to be able to react. Will you have time to react to a Genji there? Yes. Diva there? Yes. So look at him. Now, coincidentally, if you looked at this Diva, you would have seen this. What do you see?
She's not focused on me.
And not only that, but look at her HP.
She's low. She also just used her matrix.
She can't push you. She will die if she pushes you. So you're rotating for a potential situation that if you'd looked at your threat, you would have realized that isn't actually a problem. And the same way if you'd seen Genji pop his deflect and dash here, you would have gone, oh, this guy can't push me. You understand what I'm saying? So
yeah,
when you're being threatened on an angle by anybody, Genji, Reaper, Tracer, Winston, Widowmaker, look at them and decide, do I need to run or can I fight them? Sometimes you'll need to run. Sometimes you'll be able to fight them. Does that make sense? If we go back to the go ahead.
Go ahead.
If we go back to the previous situation here with a Mei, If we shot the Ana and then the Mei started to walk up the stairs, freezing, would we have needed to run away from Mei?
Wait, say that again. Say that hypothetical.
In the previous fight, remember when we went for the Ana?
Yeah,
and remember
yeah.
that Mei just kind of comes out of nowhere right here, coming out at us freezing. Would we need to? Should we have run away from Mei in that situation?
Yeah, she caught me off guard.
She caught you off guard, right? Now, she caught you off guard not because you're stupid or blind, just because you weren't thinking respawns. So yes, run away. Run away. Same thing with the visor. Remember when the visor and the diva comes after you and you're like, whoa! Yeah, run away. Run away. But if you have the opportunity to know that they're there, then you need to mark them. You need to fight them if you can safely. If it's a good fight for you, then fight it. Now, if Diva was on top of you, it's not a good fight for you. But Diva's far away, maybe we can fight her. Make sense?
Yeah. Is it a bad way to think if I'm anticipating that the enemy team is going to push bot through the Ramatra's position, like out in the open, and so I would want to reposition.
So you're thinking the fight will happen more over here?
More where Mercy's at. I think Diva's going to be pushed because she's taking a three people on at that corner and then a soldier diagonally. So I think I'm also thinking that she's going to be pushed and that it's going to be in that street right there, and then I'm going to reposition into a better angle. So
let me ask you, from this position, did you have a strong sightline and a strong angle to shoot people?
So even there, the logic still doesn't apply because the position still works.
It still works.
Yeah. I
mean, it's where enemies are, and you're not stacked with your team, and you have a good sightline, and you have good distance, right? So, yeah. So you kind of that's one of those. It's one of those dangerous moments where it's like a little overcomplicated. You have a good sightline, you're safe, so you can just keep shooting. Keep shooting. Yeah. You're thinking maybe rotating away from Diva or repositioning to a different angle. And this is not a bad angle. But now you're stacked with your team, and now you can't see anybody. You see what I'm saying? Now, you didn't intend for this to be the case. It's an accident. But it's just one of those moments where if you have good value, don't reinvest your angle. That's like saying if you'd gone to one of those gambling casinos, right? And you pull on the lever and you get 3 gold bars, right? You're going to win $100,000, right? Why would you pull the lever again to see if you get something better? You already got something good, right? Take what you got.
Yeah.
See, now this gets really complicated. I think you holding here makes a lot of sense because your team is kind of pushed forward on the right. You're getting good damage, but unfortunately, we didn't get enough damage early, so we're kind of in a position right now to where this fight's probably pretty much lost. Okay.
Walk me through how you determine that just from that. You said that I'm getting good damage, which is a good thing, which is a sign of a good position. But I get it. I didn't get the damage early because it was still a good value.
Because you're here, and I have an amazing sightline, an amazing angle to shoot people, to shoot tanks, to shoot DPS, to shoot supports. I have good vision. I have good safety. And then you said, no, I'm going to go to a position, take a long uptime. What was this, about 5 seconds of a rotation, to where I can only see Diva, who I could already see before.
Yeah, and she shouldn't have been there anyway. So
correct. And now I don't have a good sight line. I'm stuck in a corner, and I also don't really have a very good angle. Right? I like to call it the line rule, right? If I could draw a line and hit all members of your team, your angling might not be that good, right? It's really easy for the enemy team to find cover because you guys are all in a clump. You know?
The biggest takeaway is don't reinvest into something that because whenever you take an angle, you're kind of chancing it. You never know what you're gonna get from that whenever you reposition. So if I already have a good angle, just get as much value from that.
Sure. And then move if you need to. If you're not getting value anymore, or you're going to die or going to get pushed, right? That Genji example that you talked about in our questions, right? Oh, I'm going to die. Genji's going to push me. I have to run away. Yes, that's right. You got to run away. You got to find somewhere else to go. That's right. But if you aren't being pushed or you have enough distance and you're safe, then you don't need to reinvent the wheel. Just take what's given. Okay, let's see where we go here. Okay, this fight's kind of lost, so I just get out here. Yeah, just make your decision here, right? So where should you go from here? Make it quick. What do you think?
In hindsight, I should go to that top and shoot people and shoot like everybody
Here?
but again, it's like the diva is so. It's probably a fear of diva, just constantly a.
Well, this is 66, right? You have to respect diva. So going here is probably too close to their tank. Right. And so this is absolutely, if this is 5v5, you should probably run up to here and run around.
Right.
66, I don't know if you can. Because you know she's there. And she's going to run you down.
Right.
So maybe you're right. Maybe you have to play here really carefully. Maybe you have to rotate to here, even though it's not a very deep angle, and just take what you can get, because it's too close to the other angles. But you do need to make a decision. See, this is where you're going, I don't feel safe going here, so I'm just going to kind of turn my brain off and shoot tank. This is what you described in the previous, right, with the Genji, right? He's like, I can still poke from here. I don't mind you shooting Ram, but do so from a better angle that's safer, which would be here, where you could actually see the diva coming in and then be able to run away, or here, where you could see the diva coming in and she couldn't reach you. This, she's going to kill you. You see what I'm saying? Like, she's going to get you and your team. Whereas at least here you could have vision on her, and here you'd have distance on her. You needed to take a second and go, I don't want to go on that angle. Spilo's wrong. This isn't going to work. And then you need to figure it out. Where are you going to go then? You know? Where is it going to be?
No.
Does that make sense? Because here is you are choosing to not think about your position and just shoot. But this, I mean, like you could not. You know what I'm saying? You know, like you're screwed, my friend. You and your backline are in serious trouble. Does that make sense?
Even if I did go up to that high ground, in hindsight, she still would have made that play and killed.
That's correct. That's correct. But that's not what we're trying to do. We're trying to maximize your value, whether it works or not. Remember when we praised your tactical visor earlier, even though it didn't work because the idea was good and it will win games? Same thing here.
Still take the high ground. Still take
the high ground. Still do the thing.
Even if I anticipate him like being pushed back, like I thought that if I go on main and we just double up the damage on him, I thought he was gonna be pushed back. I thought we were gonna have
the way to push him back is to get a better sightline on him and to get a better angle on him, which would be up here. Whereas here, it's a much riskier, and he can even use the robot in the corner to hide. Whereas here, do you see how your vision automatically just feels a little bit better?
Yeah, I can land headshots on him.
Yeah, all it is just I need to better sightline. I'm not criticizing you for focusing Ramatra. It's fine, but we need a better angle for it, right? That's it. So whether you focus Ramatra or live versus the diva, we need to do the right thing. It doesn't work here. It wasn't going to work because they're using double support ult, and you guys only have visor. Not very good, right? But you might have lived. You might have pressured more. You might have gotten a trade, right? Maybe you get a kill here and die. Anything, right?
Yeah, that same philosophy. You're teaching me a philosophy I should apply to other situations and get higher percentage win rates.
Right. You just need to output more pressure. If your team wins, great. If they don't win, that's okay. Do it again and do it better. That's it. Always think about your positioning. It doesn't always have to be a flank. It doesn't always need to be a deep side angle. Maybe just it's a little bit of a high ground or something a little bit off to the side. Again, in 66, it's going to be a little bit harder to take those deeper angles, but you need to take them when and where you can. Like right now, you're listening and you're going, wait, maybe I can take an angle here, a deep flank. Maybe you can. Good job opening with Helix. Big chunk of damage there. And now this is a deep flank, but this is likely to work at least a little bit. Why?
The amount of distance that I have, the amount of cooldowns that they would need to invest in order to contest me. Diva's not looking in my direction at all. And even if she did, she'd have to double booster. My team is using a different angle entirely. We're surrounding them.
Your timing's good. Your distance management is good. You have your cooldowns. You have obviously the major perk, which helps out this rotation a great deal. Makes you very hard to chase. You even have your visor, so there's higher reward for the risk here as well if you see an opportunity. Now, you could rotate deeper here up to the top, but that you don't necessarily have to. This is huge.
That would be a little bit riskier, considering the Diva's position's on the bot.
That's true. But you're being a menace here. The only thing I would say here is this is getting to the extreme in terms of range. So when you said, oh, I don't want to go up top there because the Diva's on the bot. Well, does that necessarily mean I want you here? Well, maybe not. Maybe I at least just want you here. Do you see how it would be easier to do damage from this position than from where you're at?
Yeah.
So with soldier, you want to be as far away as you need to be, no further. Why?
Fall off range.
Fall
Also
off range.
harder to hit. Yeah.
Helix, right, exactly. It's all the things that are harder to hit here. And because especially you have the sprint perk, it might be worth getting to a better position here because you know it'll be better. You know it will be better. It's not a risk, it's not a gamble, it's guaranteed. So you get to here and then you decide whether you want to pursue. So this is good. This is fine. It's not bad. You're forcing a lot of resources. You forced both tank cooldowns. You forced a nade, you forced orb, and you forced the enemy team to stack, and you're still pulling attention. You've even forced a vortex. But we could do a little bit more.
Yeah. No, I get what you're saying.
Then the problem here is that as you want to walk forward, which made sense, you walked forward into the open instead of going here, or obviously we talked about high ground here. Make sense?
Yeah.
That being said, I really, really like the spirit of what you did here. You took a good angle, you timed it well, you hit some shots, you forced big distractions, and you're probably going to win the fight off of your efforts. Probably. The enemy team has a lot of ultimates. You guys had only 2, so maybe? Yeah, you guys are fine. Nice job. That's very similar to you, that you died earlier, right? One of the first things that you did was die in an angle, right? But your team wins, so good job. It's not always going to be that easy to find space, but when you do, you fill it, and you did a good job. Well done. Surprise. Close spawns. Next fight. Oh, you live! Wait a second here. No way. That's incredible.
I actually practice a lot of my juking capabilities.
All right. 3 HP. Sure. Still would probably Helix because it's your biggest burst there.
Oh, I'm gonna die here. This is embarrassing, actually. She's damage boosting me, bro, and I'm like, bro, what is this?
Yeah, I mean, you just missed your shots, and she has the perks for it. So, yeah, I mean, it's fine. It's fine. I mean, it's just a mechanical misplay from you to not kill the mate earlier. It's a mechanical misplay to run into 5 people and 6 people. It's a mechanical misplay to not finish the kill. Your Mercy might be able to get this, though. Oh, no, she's not. Okay.
Yeah,
okay. It happens.
I didn't realize that Mei has a perk that can now freeze people. Like,
it's annoying. It's annoying. She probably would have killed you either way, though. I think. Sure. Uh-oh. Good. Good. You forgot about the respawns, but you reacted instantly. Good job. Now go back. Go back. Very good.
Yeah, I'm coming back. When it comes to the respawns, I'm like, I know I don't have a clear, concise idea of the timings and obviously, who died and how long it's going to come back. But I do have an instinct to react to something. I'm like, okay, I don't know for sure. Right?
Sure.
So I'm going to hedge my bet.
Just listen. Just listen and you'll be fine. Just listen. And you'll be okay. It's the same reason why you need to be careful about running into people here. Whenever you're taking angles, the first thing that you should be doing is listening and then using your eyes in that order. Because listening will provide you feedback on what you can't see. You see what I'm saying? So, yeah. This is fine. I'd still open with Helix here. Remember, Helix even for tanks, right? Because that's going to burst her armor, right? So you need that heal, and she's not looking at you, so just bam, right now, use it. Okay. But go ahead.
More on the thought that you were telling me, like, listen, when you take angles, they're more of a gamble because you don't know who's going to be there. I remember a series of games where I would take deep flanks constantly. I would just to experiment with it, and on these flashpoint maps, and I remember the enemy team swapping or switching heroes just to deal with how often I was taking these deep flanks. And situations where Echo would literally just camp. I couldn't hear her footsteps because she has none. And then she'd spawn and kill me. Or Reaper and I would just constantly stay in a 1v1 duel where neither of us are killing each other. How do I deal with that? Like, if I'm...
Force more resources than you take. If an Echo is surprising you and killing you consistently on the flank, then you're just not as good, right? Think about it. How does an Echo beat a soldier in a duel? What are her
She hides.
advantages? She hides. She hits her stickies. She uses verticality. How does a soldier beat a helix? Or a helix, I say. Freudian slip. In an echo to duel. You only hit your helix, right? You keep a little bit of distance. You dodge the stickies, and then she's really vulnerable. Right? So who does it better? I don't know. How does a soldier beat a Genji in a duel? Well, you don't get hit by his dash, his alt fire, right?
So would it have been better to like in those types of games to like not take as many chancy deep flanks and maybe stick to more shorter off angles during the main fight?
Maybe. But you have to think about what's Echo's range versus what's Soldier's range. What kind of angles does Soldier like versus what type of angles does Echo like?
Okay.
You see what I'm saying? Something with longer sight lines, right? So if you like, you might find a different angle entirely from Echo. And if she chases you, she has to end up chasing you into the open. Let me ask you a question right now. This angle that you're on right now, can Mei push you on this angle?
Mei? No.
Right. Can Echo push you on this angle if she was with her team anywhere?
If she has a cooldowns, yeah.
But would she have an advantage in that duel at this distance?
Only if I'm caught by surprise. Only if she
right. Only
like
if you caught by surprise. Right. That's the key thing here. So what the thing that I think you're struggling with is you're struggling with when people start to fight you on these angles. You don't know what to do. You just need to beat them. You need to be but don't not just beat them like, oh, I'm just going to grit my teeth and hit my shots. But be strategic about it. How do I beat an Echo? Well, I need to not get hit by stickies. Well, how do I not get by stickies? Well, it's the first thing she's probably going to use. She wants to get the drop on me, quite literally, drop on my head. She wants to get up close to me. Reaper wants to get up close to me. Genji wants to get up close to me. You understand what I'm saying? These are the things that you need to be thinking about. That.
Like,
you know what I'm saying?
I could show you games in which I get that. I'm like, okay, if I avoid Genji's dash, if I kind of bait out, his deflect, or if as soon as I hear Reaper's teleport, bait out. If I hear the woo sounds of Echoes flying, I reposition. What I think I'm having is like I don't know where everybody is all at the same time. And I don't think I can understand where they all are at the same time while I'm shooting. So it's really like if there was an Echo here or a Genji hiding behind the corner, I would probably where I'm at right now, my learning curve, I would probably die. So
sure.
I think it's a matter of like where are they first? Are they? Am I reading the player correctly? As a player, are they targeting me? And where would they hide if they want to get me?
If somebody is spending all their time to hide and get you, and you can outplay them, you're just going to immediately kind of enter these fights with a pick, basically every time. You understand what I'm saying? Like if they're all focusing you down and you're able to take an angle and punish them, you're going to win fights just off of getting kills.
Obviously by contesting and then fighting the person that's actually...
And hopefully winning, right? Like fighting them, because they're also going for a high-risk, high-reward play, right? They're all aiming on chasing you down, right? So Soldier is not a great duelist, but Soldier can generally always find an angle where you can create a small advantage for yourself. Because you're like really fast, you can find the angle, right? Like even to look at where you're at right now, like how many heroes could get to here quickly? Sombra, maybe.
Sombra, Tracer.
But Tracer and Sombra aren't very effective at this range. You see what I'm saying? So they could get to here, but they wouldn't be able to play this far back of safety. They'd have to kind of engage a little bit more of the enemy team. And that's what makes Soldier unique, is you can get to these positions quickly, especially with that perk, and you just put a lot of pressure from here. You're like this weird...
Do you have anything to say about like learning, like reading where the contesters or the people that might want to get me are at? Or
where do you want to be? Where do they want to be? And then don't avoid the positions where they want to be. Like, let's go back here. Let's say this Mei was being a little rat and she's trying to snipe you and hide. If you were playing versus a Mei who was doing that, where is that Mei right now?
Hide and get me, right?
She wants to get you. She's obsessed with you. Or even the Reaper Echo. Where would the Echo be right now?
Yeah, that's where I'm having a hard time figuring out. Because
I mean, come on, what's her advantage? What's her advantage versus you, right?
Her advantage is surprise.
Surprise and close range, right? Stickies. She needs it. Okay, even though she's 225. So where is she right now? Is she going to beat you out here? No, it's not going to happen. Not likely. So where is she going to be?
Probably in a corner.
She's probably freaking in here somewhere, right? She's here or here or here. Now, does that mean that you have to like rotate all the way around behind and, you know, go all the way to the spawn? No, it just means you got to be ready. You got to be ready. Okay, so there's an echo in this corner. Let me listen. Maybe I can turn the corner, helix and run, grab the you know what I'm saying? Bait the stickies. You got to be fast. You got to be smart. You know? You understand what I'm saying? You got to expect it.
Yeah.
Where would they want to fight? Because once you get to here, it's over for them. This is too valuable a position. There's too much space here. It's too long.
She can only get me there if I'm distracted with another. If I'm like actually focusing on the tank.
But even then, it's difficult, right? If there's still a lot of space, and if you quickly respond, then it's fine. So this is annoying. This is why you're winning the fight right now. I would still open the helix here, but. I mean, it's the same thing with D.Va, right? If she doesn't connect with you right there, it's over. And if you'd opened with Helix there, she would have been demeched. Run. You just ran a little too slow, that's all. And then you got head respawns. But I mean, this has been fine pressure. Like you're pulling a lot of resources and your team pretty much easily wins despite the enemy team using D.Va Bomb, you know? It's fine. Just we shouldn't have died. That's all.
Because okay, I shouldn't have died because there's a layer of respawn times that we haven't talked about because I'm not there yet.
Correct. And also, like, if once you fail to kill this baby, you're not killing this team, even in 6v6, right? So just run. Just run. Okay.
I don't know, man. With my sprint perk, bro, I could outrun a D.Va from that
distance. Sure. But then that's more along the lines of just the respawns then, sure. This is a little far. I think you could get a better angle from here. Where would you go with the information that you have?
Top.
Top. Just take top. Oh, but D.Va will push me. Yeah. You have enough distance to and speed to react. Take top. Good helix. But yeah, you see this angle is just not all that good anymore. Look at the line, right? We got 4 people all on the line, right? The only person angling here, I guess, is your Freya. So
you don't think that it was a good decision to back away after they used Annihilation?
Well, the way that you backed away just made the angle worse. So backing away here is fine, but we probably need to take the time to find a different angle if we can here, because we're all full stacked. You see what I'm saying? So where should you go from here?
Yeah, right side.
Go right side. Run here as fast as you can and start shooting from here. Pop. You know what I'm saying?
Gotcha. So it wasn't a bad decision. I just need to reposition a little bit sooner.
Yep. You didn't take an angle initially. Probably because you were scared.
Him if I took that.
Then you ran away from the Annihilation, but you ran away and stayed in the exact same spot. Because remember, we've criticized you a couple times for rotating unnecessarily, but it's when you already had an angle. You do not have a good angle right now because I have 3 members of my team on my screen and 1 of my guys in spawn. You see what I'm saying? So what you can see here is very limited. There's a lot of ways for them to hide, right? Good helix, but they're very easy for them to avoid and hide. Whereas if you're here, there's nowhere where that Ramatra hides. He dies. It's over. And then you can then take that position to shoot the enemy team. That Ramatra's still behind you guys. That's scary. Okay. Let's see where we go from here. Sure, I like this. This is good. But where should you be? Small adjustment. Almost there, but small adjustment. Better angle. Where is it?
Up top, but I'm juking this Ramatra that's behind me.
Take the angle first. Take the angle first, right? Take the angle first, then worry about the Ramatra. Further away from Ramatra, then you don't got to worry about the Ramatra. This is fine. This is also fine. Let's move. You see what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Take the angle. Then we can worry about the Ramatra. That's good. That's fine. Good. It's just more of a situation of like we could have gotten a little early pressure before we had to juke the Ramatra. You see what I'm saying?
Yeah, so not a major mistake that I need to...
No, you definitely needed to run away from the Ramatra. Absolutely. Even in 6v6 tanks, shove your face in. This is not likely to work because you don't really have a good angle because I think you're planning to back out here. But maybe your Freya will clutch it? I don't know. Yeah, it looks like your Freya might clutch it. Okay, where do you go from here? Be quick.
Top.
top immediately. High risk, high reward. Yeah, but this fight's pretty much lost anyway, so you might as well try. You've got to get off the floor here. Good. Good open with Helix. Nicely done. Nicely done. Good shots. Run, 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 run. Good value. Good value. Good. Stop. Turn around. Go back. That's the soldier right there, right? You know, make him look at you. You know, use that Helix. Good. Yeah, this is honestly fine. Like the fact that you guys made it as chaotic as you did was really good because you guys had no business winning that fight at all. Where should you go right now? I know we're backing up, but let's back up to an angle. Where is that?
Top still.
Top right. So you're gonna go here. You're gonna poke, 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 poke. They're gonna push you. You're gonna keep running, right? But you have a fighting withdrawal. You get what I'm saying? Don't die here, but get a fighting withdrawal.
Okay, so let's elaborate the nuance of this because
sure.
I remember you watching this Masters that you coach where you were like, okay, the fight's lost, and if you were gonna clutch it, stay on the angle. And if you die, you're gonna catch the wave.
Correct.
Because the worst thing you want to do is get staggered.
Correct.
So I don't want to get staggered while I reposition and kite back and do damage. But I do want a better angle than that. So I got to find that in between the balance.
Kind of. I mean, you look at this position here, and I know it's hard to picture here, but you're still in a position to where you could get killed here. Because all the enemy team's pressure is going down this narrow lane, so you could get randomly sniped by a Helix, like what happened to the enemy soldier, right? Or an EDRE shot, or anything, right? So basically here, there's basically just as much risk, especially with the D.Va not back yet, but there's more reward. Now, if you would want to go here and play a little bit more patiently here, then there's very little risk at all because you're so far away and so I want you, basically what's happening is as you back up and stay with your team. You don't back up and take an angle. Like this fight now is actually, we're kind of winnable now. We actually have 5 people now, but notice where you're positioned. Do you see it?
No, I'm not sure what you mean.
Do you have an angle right now? Are you playing a sightline? Are you opening up an angle? No. So we're fighting.
No, but I could go left, hit the super macho a little bit better, or I could go right. And,
correct. That's correct. I prefer right just because you can move around and run away if you need to easier. But yeah, we need to take an angle now. But it's too late. Because what came from the angle here is this. You missed your opportunity to pressure this. Because we could have been here doing this instead. You see what I'm saying? And so now we're stuck. We're pincered. We don't really have anywhere to go. Do you see what I'm saying? Where's your angle?
Yeah,
Where's your angle? Where's your angle?
The fact that I didn't make earlier decisions
correct.
To pressure the right
that's
spots.
correct. That's correct. And so there's no way to solve it at that point. Okay. Sure. Sneaky, sneaky. You have a couple of options here. You could do this. You can do like this. You can do this. Let's see what you do. Hard flank, okay. Good open with Helix. Hold the corner and be patient. I thought we were going to win this.
I'm not even joking. But the problem with that path is that it's open, wide open, and she kills
yeah, it's a little too open, right? If we'd made to get to here or here, maybe. But yeah, I don't think this is terrible. It's just a little bit uncomfortable in terms of we were unable to find cover. You see, you can't win this duel here. You see it? Because she can always hide from you, but you cannot hide from her. That's the problem. So here, we need to be a little bit faster with getting to more permanent cover. That's all. Or maybe even just don't run away. Hold right here. Fight her right in the face. You've got Helix, heal station. You can win this duel on this corner here, but you need to find a cover. Okay. I think that's probably it. Let's see. Do we get any more fights? Yeah, we don't have the angle for it, so I don't know if it's going to work.
It's not going to work. It's obviously the last.
Yeah, you're cooked. Okay. So, what needs to be practiced here? Obviously, not a ton of new things. That's just how practice works. It's just amplifying and repetition on the basics. What needs to be done?
The first one is take the position earlier. Spot the position earlier.
Take the angle, right?
Yeah, don't reinvest into something that already has high return.
Yeah.
fight anybody, anticipate anybody that's like actually camping me and wants to actually contest me.
Right.
Um,
So here's what I want you to do, okay? I want you to take an angle, right? I want you to pay very close attention. Is anybody fighting me? Okay, then how do I beat that person? Do I need to maintain distance? Do I need to catch him off guard? Be ready to fight. And then if your angle's good, keep fighting. If you need to run away, then retake the angle again. So what angle? Hold corner on that angle. So the big one for you is cover, right? Big one for you is cover. And keep working on that helix. You got me?
yeah.
So there's a lot of details, nuances here and there. But remember, the biggest thing is that I want you to practice the spirit of what's trying to be done. When you're a soldier, you're trying to take angles to pressure and not die. And so whatever you need to do that correctly, you can do that, right? So if something doesn't work, you have to look at it carefully. You have to go, was the angle good? Did I miss my shots? Was the helix bad? Did I just not know that they were there? You understand what I'm saying? That's kind of what needs to be done.
Yeah. How was other than the helix, how was the healing station?
It's fine. Not a problem. Not a problem. Felt like you always got value out of it. Felt like you didn't save it all the time. Felt like you used it when you needed it, and it was totally fine. It's a really difficult cooldown to use. Don't worry about it. That's good. It's more important to use that one correctly when you have the other major perks. So if you're not rotating a lot, like let's say you're forcing soldier in like circuit, right, or Havana, you might not rotate as much and you might like the attack speed, but for our purposes here, it was totally fine.
Okay.
Take an angle and shoot.
Make the better decisions and make them earlier. Like instead of going to stairs, hug cover a little bit more.
Sure.
I had a little bit more altitude advantage.
Sure, but I challenge you to simplify that, right? Make better decisions. That's not good feedback, right? Here's the better decision. Hold corner, hold cover. That's all, right? When you weren't making good decisions, what were those decisions consistently? Well, we just consistently forgot cover, right? That was one of those decisions that we need to improve on. Your decision making is not bad. Your cover usage is bad, right? Your angles aren't always bad either. Your angles get bad when you back up, and then you just forget mid-fight to take another angle. You just stack with your team.
Yeah, I'm just okay. I guess I could find better angles and still not get staggered.
Sure.
Like when I'm backing up, yeah.
Sure. I want you to simplify this, right? Keep it simple, right? Because there's a lot of nuance and details. So you just need to take off angles with cover and not be surprised when people fight you. I'm not saying fight a diva toe-to-toe, fight her in the teeth, but if she's far away, then fight her. If she's not far away, then run, right? You know your matchups.
Yeah.
You know?
And the examples of the Echo and the Reaper that I was giving you, like, and you're saying it is okay to, like, play it, like, when a nude fight happens, play it safe for a little bit.
Yeah, listen, look around, think about where you want to be. Sure.
All right, that actually sounds good.
Because obviously we used Echo Reapers examples, but that applies to anything, right? Like, what if a Road Dog's hiding for you, right? What if a Widowmaker is waiting for you to peek that sightline again? She's gonna blow your head off, right? You gotta be thoughtful, right? Soldier's very flexible, but he's very rarely the optimal dominant gonna snipe you down, right? What Soldier is he always can strategize around, like, how do you beat a Widow? How do you beat a Diva? How do you beat a Tracer? How do you beat a Reaper? There's always an answer with Soldier. It just might not be a very easy answer. Whereas characters like Widowmaker, sometimes there is not an answer at all, right? There's just nothing you can do as a Widowmaker versus certain characters, right?
I do have games in which, I, like, especially on Dorado, where I could not find a weakness in the enemy comp.
Sure.
I attacked the first point of payload.
Sure.
There was a Cassidy.
Yeah, I mean, again, in 66, there's going to be more contested space, so there's going to be fewer free angles, so there might not be an optimal position. It just might be an okay angle, I guess, and then you have to challenge yourself to play it perfectly. I hit every helix. I play cover perfectly. I hit more of my shots. You get what I'm saying? So if you can't find that optimal angle, free angle, that's okay. Do the best that you can. Do the best that you can.
Do the best I can, and it comes out of mechanics at that point. Can I get the headshot even though they're in cover?
Think about first fight, right? Is it optimal on that Esperanza where you're playing that Ash at like 25 meters? Is that optimal? Not really, but there wasn't really a good angle available. So you just had to try to dodge her shots, hit your helixes, and see if you could finish her off. And you almost did. Sometimes there just isn't a good angle. You just take the best that you can get. That's all right.
All right.